Good day, good day, good day. This is Hasani Houston, HD Houston 12. Especially if you're following me on Instagram, I'm really excited today because we have the pleasure of bringing to you CEO Jerry Harris, right? And so for those of you who don't know who this brother is, let me tell you about this brother. This is a big deal. He's out of the state of Tennessee, and as of May of last year, he got involved in real estate. And when he got involved in real estate, listen to this, you guys. From May of last year to now, he has completed 28 properties.
Okay. 28. Can I stop right there? It's 30, but who's counting? Go ahead.
Okay, so 30 properties, and it hasn't even been a full 12 months yet.
No.
Okay.
No. It'll be 12 months May of next year, which I have 2 more in line to close, May the 7th and May the 21st. So it'll be 32 in May.
Okay. All right. So there you have it, folks. So with 30, basically we can just go ahead and say now, with 32 houses within a year, that means he's averaging about 3 houses a month that he is identifying, fixing, and selling and making a profit from on a consistent basis. And so I'm sure there are some of you out there that would love to hear not only his story and how he came into the industry, but his systems and his ideology as far as how he's able to do this and how he's able to maintain this speed and his profit. So that, everybody, that's the biggest one, how we make the profit. So with that being said, Jerry, what I would love to do to start out with is how did you come into real estate? How did you come into real estate?
Well, I got into wholesaling. In 2019 through a friend, just needed something to do. And we went to a guy named Raphael Bartis, which is Real Advisors. We went to his seminar. And I paid $5,000 to go there, so it's kind of steep to go. But anyway, we learned the wholesale game, and we got suckered into the master class. Now, when I say suckered, it wasn't a bad thing. It was great. I paid $25,000 upsell for the master class, so it's almost like a $30,000 event. But anyway, I came back to Memphis. I implemented the system he taught me, and it just took off from there. I think the first 90 days I did 90 grand, so I got my money back plus a 60,000 profit, and I just was rolling in the wholesale game. So something, got tired of just wholesaling houses, and I saw another guy that I, looked up to, and I said, hey, look, he's fixing and flipping, and I reached out and contacted him and said, hey, look, I would love to get it fixed and flipped, so I pay you for your mentorship. And he took me on, and I can't say it was a great experience, but it was an experience. One thing I learned about life is, you guys, no matter what kind of situation you get put in, always make sure you get the best out of it. He put me in a bad situation, but I got good things out of it. First project I brought to the table, the agreement was a split of 50-50, soon changed. And I had to take it because he was bringing all the financing and all the stuff to the table, the sources. Mm-hmm. So I agreed to the change on, the deal. We went through it. Of course, I paid upfront a fee of $5,000 for him to mentor me. And then on top of that, he beat me out of $16,000 on the rehab because I knew nothing about this business. I knew nothing about who to hire, how much square feet flooring is, roofing is, paint is, and he got me for 16 grand. Wow. So, it kind of beat me up on the first one. March was the beginning of COVID. So it kind of I'm like, oh Lord, told my wife, I think I got my stuff in. So we pushed through that one. It was slow. I decided, he put me in the room with the right people. And I made friends. I made a bad situation into a good situation. And those friends say, hey, look, call me if you need me, call me if you need me, call me if you need me. So therefore it led me to calling, and one person gave me a good source for a contractor. And then another person gave me a person that was sale, and another person. And from there, I just took those ingredients and put them together. Purchased my first one May the 4th of 2020. Mm-hmm. And we finished it in 45 days, had it sold a week after we finished it. I mean, now a week after we purchased it, the guy that sells the properties for us, we sell them through a turnkey mechanism, which I get into later down the road. He sold it in like a week after I purchased it. Project went through. We closed on it, made 26 grand on my first one. And I said, okay, this could be something that I really like doing. And next thing I know, 2 came, 3 came, 4 came, and it just now. And like I say, after a while, you stop counting. You know, people ask me, how many houses you flip? We see you on Instagram, you just flipping houses. But actually sitting down and counting everything up, it was 30 completed and sold 50 flips.
Okay.
And like I say, it's a great business. I enjoy it.
Okay. Now, with that being said, you mentioned something that I think is important for us not to skip over. You mentioned that you were in a bad situation, but you were introduced to great people, so therefore you made great relationships. In the short amount of time that I've known you, that was one of the things that has stood out about you is your ability to make, cultivate, and hold on to relationships. Can you talk about that a little bit as far as your method of building relationships with people? Well,
the way I look at life is you meet everybody for a reason. My grandparents used to say, whether it's good or bad, it's a reason. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of like take people for what they are. And even though it was a bad experience, that person not necessarily a bad person, the experience was bad. So I'm the type of person, when I come in to meet you, I come in to meet you with what can I help you with, especially if it's a business venture. Mm-hmm. Not what I can make off of you, not what I'm going to beat you out of, not what, it's wholeheartedly how can I help grow your business. Mm. In the return, I know I'll get where I need to.
Right.
Because, old people used to have a saying, birds that flock together, what's the saying? The birds
of a feather
flock together.
That's right.
If I can get where I'm trying to get through you, I know I can help bless you, and therefore you bless me. And that's how I take life. I take life as one of those situations. Truly, I have no enemies that I know of. I don't burn bridges. I'm for real. I don't make it burn bridges. I'm real apologetic, even if I feel like I'm right. I'm quick in the first one to say, hey, guys, I'm sorry. If I offended you in any kind of way, if I done something that you felt like I should, I'm sorry, because that helps me sleep at night. See, I don't believe in toting old baggage around. Me being mad at you and you being mad at me and we're talking about each other to different people. It doesn't solve anything.
That's right.
It really doesn't. So I always make sure when I come in, when I meet Mr. Houston, you teach insurance. I need to know where I need to put my money in. So I'm going to help you, and therefore you help me. You allow and teach me where I can place assets that secure me and my family.
That's right.
So that's how I look at relationships. What the person that I'm meeting, I'm looking at how are they an asset to me.
So the reason why that's important is because there's so many times where people feel money hungry, for lack of better terms, and they abuse their relationships. And like I said, one of the things that stood out to me when we met was you talked about how you nurtured your relationships. And I just thought that was something very powerful, because you also talked about how after meeting somebody, you send a follow-up message to them and things of that nature. Could you just go into that just a little bit? Because I think this is something valuable that a lot of entrepreneurs, new or experienced, can learn from. Because believe it or not, a lot of people don't know how to do this.
See, whenever you go in a room, and I learned this from businesses and dealing with people, whenever you walk into a room, you don't always have to be the person that's being seen. And that's where a lot of people get that, I'm going in here and these millionaires in here and I want them to see me and I want them to...
Right.
That's not always the step to take. It's nothing wrong with being seen and remembered. But this is my perception of this. I go into the room and I join a conversation with, hey, how you doing? I listen to what they tell me and what they tell me they do. Now, I don't respond if I'm not in that situation. In insurance, I would just listen to everything that you tell me. And if I want to impress you, I would find out the next event you had, go to, if I had to Facebook stalk you, Instagram stalk you, so I could get into your next surrounding. But in between that time, I'm going to study everything that I need to know about Mr. Houston. I'm going to Google you. I'm going to Instagram follow you. I'm gonna do everything that I know. When I get into the next conversation, I'm gonna press you. Because I'm gonna tell you about your kids. I might not get deep in detail about the kids, but I'm gonna tell you so much and show you that I'm so intrigued with learning what you're trying to teach that you're gonna be impressed. And you're gonna, pass your number off, and we're gonna do business sometime down the road. It may not be this month, it may not be next month. It could be 3 months down the road, but you will remember.
That's right.